You're listening to DraftKings Network.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. If you're a smoker or dipper looking to make a change, you really only need one reason to do it. But with Zyn nicotine pouches, you can find many. Zyn is America's #1 nicotine pouch. It's made with only 6 simple ingredients. There are lots of options when it comes to nicotine satisfaction, but there's only one Zyn. Learn more about Zyn and find your reason to make a change by registering online at Zyn.com.
Smirnoff knows there's no I in football. Football is a we thing, an experience that is best enjoyed together with good drinks and good people. Smirnoff is the world's #1 vodka and is an official vodka partner of the NFL. And this year, Smirnoff is giving fans in select areas of the country a chance to win the ultimate game day experience. From tickets to sideline passes and much more, just head to WeDoGameDays.com until November 15, 2024 to enter for your chance to win. That's WeDoGameDays.com. Smirnoff, we do game days.
Please drink responsibly. Smirnoff number 21 vodka, distilled from grain, 40% alcohol by volume. The Smirnoff Company, New York, New York. Please do not share with anyone under legal drinking age. No purchase necessary. 21 plus. Ends November 15, 2024. See rules at website for participating area and other important details. Sponsored by Diageo Americas Inc., New York, New York.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
Stugotz's weekend observations are going to be in a moment, but before we get into that, and before we get into what feels like a fairly giant basketball story, I heard advertised on Netflix the Paul Tyson fight in a way that called it a boxing mega event. The fight the world has been waiting for. And I think they also called it, if not the biggest event in the world, something very close to the biggest event in the world. And while I want to argue, because I hate that this is what boxing is as a spectacle, I cannot argue that I'm assuming that Netflix is going to kill it with whatever it is that this fight is, even though it's the silliest kind of circus novelty, even though whatever it is, that the size of the gloves and the headgear and the rounds, that it's not really boxing in any way. It's a 58-year-old guy against an internet celebrity. But I do think they're going to sell out Jerry's World for that. Like, is that possible that they're going to get 100,000 people there like you would for a genuine boxing match during the heavyweight age? Like, what kind of event is this going to be?
I would sound old if I said it's not possible, so it's entirely possible, because it's possible. Like, Dan, I'm not going to say it's not going to happen. I actually think it's going to happen. I think he'll sell that place out.
Are we worried about Mike Tyson at all here? Or, Dan, do you still think he's going to knock Jake out? Like, how are we feeling about what's actually going to happen?
He continues to be an underdog, and I would not want a human being of any kind to fight Mike Tyson. Like, if I would like Mike Tyson's chances quickly against anybody, but I understand that he's a betting underdog, and a lot of people are worried for Mike Tyson in a way I'm not worried for Mike Tyson.
I'm curious to see how it goes. I think we'll all work ourselves up into being curious at that point, and this is really accessible given the streamer that it's on, but a lot of the wind got taken out of my sails for this when Tyson couldn't even make it through a camp without a health-related type of delay. So this is going to be a bit of a sideshow. Well, a lot of a sideshow.
I feel like we're going to know 30 seconds in whether this is going to be fun, sad, like just all
it's
fake.
Funny, that 30 seconds is where I worry about Jake Paul's chances the most. Yeah. I'm more curious about like 45 seconds.
Right. I see what you're saying.
A full minute.
A full minute of Mike Tyson trying to punch.
You think he just goes for it first minute? Like, let's just do this?
The odds are what the odds are for a reason.
If Tyson does not immediately go right at Jake Paul, punching as much and as hard as he can, then he will not win that fight.
If Jake is going easy on him, that's where the internet's going to turn on both of them, right? Like, this is all just a scam?
Yeah, what Dan is saying and Mike is saying, if Jake gets it to the second round, the fight's over. And I'm with them.
The way Tyson has fought his entire career, if he doesn't prowl and come at Jake Paul, even though Jake Paul has the size advantage, then you will know that Tyson has no chance in that fight. Where has that betting number gone? Because I thought when that started that Tyson would be the favorite, even understanding that Jake Paul while not a top-tier boxer, is actually a legitimate fighter, can make a career as a fighter, even though it would be a very low-tier fighter.
I have it right now. Paul is minus 250.
So that number's climbed.
DraftKings minus 275 for Paul, plus 210 for Tyson.
So over time, maybe because those numbers were closer the last time before the missed camp. But most people, Stugotz, I said at the time that fight was announced, I'm like, Jake Paul's an idiot. Roy knows what I'm talking about here. 58 or not, if you just watch Tyson train, nobody wants to take punches from the feet like that. Uppercuts that come, nobody wants Mike Tyson charging at them at 58 years old or at any age.
I'm looking at the lines right now on DraftKings Sportsbook. If you're going to take Tyson, there's only one way Tyson wins this match, right? There's only one way.
Yeah.
It's by a knockout.
First round.
Yes.
Right. So instead of betting Mike Tyson at plus 210, because I don't think this one's going to scorecards, take Mike Tyson by KO or TKO or DQ at plus 350.
You could take either of them just to win in the first or second round. Like if you're just like, this is not going to last long, however it ends. You get good money on Jake Paul to win the first or second round.
There's going to be an entire generation of people watching that fight having no idea what Mike Tyson was.
That is correct. It's going to be. Look, Mike Tyson fought against Roy Jones Jr. many years ago, and that was also sad, like wildly sad. But this is going to do numbers. Of that, I have no dilution.
I don't think it's going to do like Brady roast numbers. Like I don't think it's going to get everyone watching this thing. I think it's going to do well for it's going to do better than most boxing matches do. I agree with you on that.
I don't know how much Netflix gives out that information because they tend to be very careful about that information and they just speak in generalities. Like they'll tell you that the Brady roast did better than any other comedy special, but they won't give you the specifics of the numbers. I'm assuming that this will be the biggest fight that Jake Paul has ever had and will be a wild success for Netflix as a foray into live sports programming. By any definition, if the Brady roast was that, I believe that this will do Brady roast numbers. It'll do better than Brady roast numbers. They can fill an arena. You don't think this will do better than the Brady roast?
I just think boxing is more niche than like comedy.
This isn't boxing. This is fame. This is circus. This is event nonsense.
But I think Jake Paul's numbers have gone down. Like, you know, he came out of the gates hot, and I don't see outside of us right now. I don't hear like SportsCenter's not talking about it. I just don't know if this is going to be.
You've just got two demos is all. You've got both demos. You got 18 to 34, right. And you got the people who want to see, wait a minute, I remember what Mike Tyson was. And Mike Tyson, if he's charging at you and you're in the corner, whoever on earth you are, you do not want any of that. 58 or not. Like that's not something you think you can hit cleanly and hurt for 45 seconds.
Is this something that like an ESPN would be rooting against because it's Netflix and it's like another lane for live sports? So like ESPN might not cover this because it doesn't want it to succeed? I might be wrong about that. I'm just kind of thinking out loud.
ESPN covers best the things that they have partnerships with, and that tends to be pretty standard. They helped the NHL a great deal when they were partners with the NHL, and then it vanished from their network when they weren't partners with the NFL.
I bet First Take will have them on like either this week or early next week as like a hype thing.
Tyson Paul? I doubt it.
I could see them being on First Take. That's the only ESPN show I could picture covering it.
Because of Tyson, though, right?
Just because Stephen A. fancies himself a boxing guy.
Yeah. Stugotz here for my friends over at Simply Safe. The holiday season is right around the corner. That means you're away more, and burglars know it. That means you need to protect your home. Right now, Simply Safe is giving exclusive early access to its Black Friday sale to Batard Show listeners. Simply Safe is the home security I trust to keep my home and family safe. Simply Safe is a new way to protect your home that stops intruders before they break into your home. Old school systems only take action once someone is already inside your home. That's too late. Simply Safe's Active Guard outdoor protection changes the game by preventing crime before it even happens. If someone's lurking around or acting suspiciously, those agents see them in real time, talk to them directly, set off your spotlight, and even call the police before they've had a chance to break in. Simply Safe is offering my listeners exclusive early access to their Black Friday sale. This week only, you can take 60% off any new system with a select professional monitoring plan. This is their best offer of the year. Head to simplysafe.com/DLB to claim your discount and make sure your home is safe this holiday season. Don't wait. This offer won't last long. Keep your home, your family, and your peace of mind protected with Simply Safe. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Don Le Batard.
Let's go to 80.
His name is Bo.
Wow.
I think Billy typed an 8 instead of a B. Fine.
It's a clear as day, Bo.
All right, $2.
Stugotz.
Number 80. Go ahead. It's Chris Corner on the line. CC, go ahead.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Are you ready for weekend observations, Stugotz?
I am.
All right.
It is time for Stugotz to share his game notes. No one in the media will tell you what happened better than my boy Stu.
Weekend observations brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste, just 96 calories, available for delivery. Dan, Tuesday night is one of the most important nights in our country's history, with the potential to completely change the future. Suspense, drama. It will be must-watch TV as we already are a nation divided by allegiances.
What?
Was that the word already? Was there an L?
Already.
Was there
Already a nation divided by allegiances is what I was trying to say. Hearts will be broken. Enough with all the polls. It's time for the people to decide. And Dan, just like that, make no mistake about it, the college football playoff show is back. You excited?
Yeah.
We're going to find out the rankings according to the committee. I mean,
Biggest story of the day tomorrow.
they're going to look over resumes.
Yes.
They're not going to, right? It's going to be 0 losses, 1 losses, 2 losses, right? That's how they're going to do it?
They're
the way
going
we've always
to
done it?
Pick 12 teams.
Yeah. Speaking of back, Jameis Winston is back to being Jameis Winston. Saquon Barkley, best 14-yard run in NFL history. 12-team playoff this year. Don't forget. Reminder, it's 12th. Just letting you know, tomorrow night's the biggest night in the history of this country.
You mentioned that,
Yep.
yes. In the history of this college football, this great college football land.
Syracuse, with the rare walk-off fumble recovery. Shohei Ohtani, do it without Freddie Freeman. Doug McDermott is a Sacramento King. Shohei Ohtani, do it as a pitcher. Shohei Ohtani, do it batting better than 100. Shohei Ohtani, do it for the other Los Angeles team. Dan, you know what the S in Shohei Ohtani stands for?
I don't.
It stands for the 6th or 7th best player on his own team. You agree?
I do not.
You know what the O in Shohei Ohtani stands for? It stands for 0 for 4 in the clinching game. There were 6 players better than Ohtani in that series. In the postseason, 6.
In the postseason? No,
Yep.
not in the postseason.
I mean,
In the World Series.
Freeman,
Not in the postseason.
Mookie Betts,
You weren't watching
That's
the
2.
NLCS?
Kiki.
You weren't watching the NLCS? Your Mets played in the NLCS.
Yeah.
You weren't watching it?
Anyway, Aaron Judge making 0 errors all year until dropping an easy pop-up in Game 5 of the World Series. He was due. Aaron Judge, allow me to introduce you to Bill Buckner. Yankees choked. You hate to see it. And by hate to see it, I mean you absolutely love to see it. Juan Soto says he doesn't have any doors closed and that he'll be available to all 30 teams. That had to be news to the Athletics.
How great was that right after the game?
He did not waste any time.
In the losing clubhouse, he's like, I'm open for business.
Yeah.
Any one of you teams who wants to offer me anything, I will take your hundreds of millions of dollars. I'm taking all meetings. It was so good.
But when he says that he's available to all 30 teams, the A's don't believe him, right?
They don't, no. You got him, Stugotz. He should have said all 29 is what he should have said, except for Oakland and the Marlins. 28 is what he should have said.
To all 28 teams.
28 real teams, real major league teams.
That would have been funny. Congratulations to the Dodgers. All it took was the largest payroll in franchise history and committing $1.4 billion in future salaries to 5 players this past offseason. Taylor.
It was $1 billion, right?
1.4. The Padres were the second best team in baseball. They had them on the ropes.
They did.
What is happening to me? Freddie Freeman won the World Series MVP playing on one ankle and with a broken rib. Hockey player, except for the teeth. Those are not hockey teeth. They wouldn't be in his mouth. You guys agree?
They're good teeth.
Tip of the cap to one Bob Costas.
Wow.
It was a good run, man.
42 years.
It's a great run. Legendary run. How was Bob last week?
He's mad at Billy.
Oh. Why?
He thought Billy was disrespectful to his career. I think he said
Falsehoods.
Billy doesn't know jack shit, I think is what he said.
Interesting.
He didn't mention me by name. Dan's pinning it on me, but that's fine.
He's mad at Dan, really.
It's
I would
either
say so.
you. It's either you or Stugotz.
I said nothing but good things about Bob Costas.
It can't be anyone
I
else.
didn't say anything about him. I just tipped my cap to him. What else am I supposed
He
to
said
do?
someone around here didn't know jack shit about his career. That's what he said.
Dodgers hosting the World Series parade on Fernando Valenzuela's birthday. Goosebumps. Dallas Cowboys. It's over.
Does
Everything.
feel like that. Yeah.
It does, right? Belichick?
It is weird that McCarthy still has a job. I think we can agree on that.
It's also weird that the Falcons and Commanders got it right by not signing Belichick.
Belichick not having a job is one of the strangest uncovered stories in the sport. To go from you're the best, we all know you're the best, hey, nobody wants you.
Give it time. Ohio State and Penn State should have been played at night. C.J. Stroud, sophomore slump. C.J. Stroud leads the NFL in sacks that take you out of field goal range.
It does happen to him a lot.
It does.
Geno Smith would like a word.
You're right. Apple picking, overrated. Steve Martin and Martin Short have looked the same for the last 30 years. How?
True. Yeah,
How?
it's true.
They look great.
Yeah, they look exactly the same.
For those keeping track at home, Mike Norvell should now spell his last name with 8 L's.
Omarion Hampton had 5 touchdowns against FSU.
If you've seen one Penn State-Ohio State game, you've seen them all. Joel Embiid got into an altercation with a reporter and pushed him. A brotherly shove. Thank you. Death, taxes, and James Franklin losing that game. James Franklin versus Ryan Day in a big game. Something had to give, and it's usually James Franklin.
Often is.
Yep. Lincoln Riley, fraud. Dylan Raiola, looking like Patrick Mahomes, only works when you're not losing to UCLA at home. He's got to get a new act. You can't do this and be that bad. You can't do it. Because you're pretending to be the greatest quarterback that has ever lived, him or Tom Brady, and yet you're losing to UCLA at home, traveling across the country. It's a bad team. I don't know if that's traveling across the country now that I think about it.
You mentioned Lincoln Riley. They are 12-12 in their last 20.
Fraud. Yep. If you throw a flag, call a penalty. No picking it up.
Slippery slope.
Yep. Some NFL GM is going to draft Carson Beck. And I'm telling you right now, Dan, he will get that GM fired. Gunslinger. Dallas Cowboys. You had Dan Quinn in your building last year. Indiana. Little good news, little bad news. Good news, you are 9-0. Bad news, your coach is leaving.
They had their first deficit this weekend. They fell down 10-0. And then what'd they do? They won by 30.
Yeah.
Indiana's going to be a playoff team, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the good news.
But they're going to get in, right? I mean, they
play Ohio State still.
Yeah, but they can lose still
and still get in.
One
Not
loss.
when you're Indiana.
When you're Indiana,
You don't have the luxury.
You have to be perfect?
You fall hard.
Yeah.
Really? A one-loss Indiana team might get in this year, though. It's 12 teams, guys.
They
Reminder.
might.
Right.
You think we thought it was 4? We know.
It's a little aggressive.
Just a reminder.
It's a little aggressive for this first-year playoff 12-team format.
Because they have to beat Ohio State, and then they have to win the Big Ten championship, or they have 2 losses.
Yeah.
But you don't believe they're legitimately good as a team that keeps putting up 40 against everyone they're playing against?
I think they're good. I just think that they're not going to skate into the college football. It's a nice story, but Cinderella, it's about to be midnight.
I refuse to believe someone in the NFL is actually named Ladd McConkey. Army took care of business. Navy, it was fun while it lasted. And of course, we thank you for your service.
Always.
Duke was up by 11 midway through the third quarter and didn't cover a 21-point spread. Bad beat. Oh, was that bad?
Pat Forty was gloating on Twitter. He was preening around. It was my lock of the week on the podcast.
Oh, 40.
How the hell was Miami a 20-point favorite, 28-17? He was preening.
Still roaming around, huh?
Old Pat Forty was roaming around preening. It was my lock of the week on the podcast.
Detroit Lions, buzzsaw for now. Remember when the Saints were 2-0 with the best offense in NFL history? It was a great time.
2-7.
Football.
The 2-7 Saints.
Football. Weird sport.
It is.
It's odd. Congratulations to Daniel Jones for throwing his first touchdown pass at home in 672 days. Speaking of congratulations to Jameis Winston for throwing his 100th career interception. I think he's done it faster than any quarterback in the history of the league.
Derrick Henry scored his 100th touchdown yesterday, and Jameis Winston threw his 100th interception. I feel like we should have all stopped and had big ceremonies, like confetti cannons, for both of those things.
Don't look now, but Steve Kerr is actually coaching. Los Angeles Chargers flying under the radar. Injured Steph, no more Clay, and the Warriors are 5-1 with a point differential of 18 points per game. How?
Scoring 130 points every game.
I've never been more nervous watching someone perform the victory formation than I was watching Bryce Young. Wasn't sure he knew how to do it.
I'm happy that Bryce Young doesn't have to lose all the time. Makes me happy.
He's won 4 NBA championships as a head coach, and yet the first 6 games of this season has been Steve Kerr's best coaching job of all time.
Chris, why are you shaking your head?
This is a ridiculous take, but I like it.
I mean, 5-1 with that team. The most dominant team in the sport, they are.
Best job of his career, you said.
Yes. I mean, you know how many coaches win with that team?
7?
More. 7, though. You push back on me there. I think of the 7 coaches.
It's okay. We don't have
Thibodeau win with that team?
Just keep it going. Just keep it moving.
Spo.
Just keep it going, please.
Kevin Harlan's.
Harlan's?
Well, it's an apostrophe S. He's saying it,
he
didn't read
Kevin
it
Harlan's.
It's Harlan's.
Kevin Harlan's.
He read it wrong. Yeah, you got it right, Roy. You're correct.
It was the greatest call in broadcasting history.
There you go.
So, if your team wins on a 61-yard field goal, guess what? You didn't lead your team on a game-winning drive in my personal record book.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, Josh Allen. StugottsBook.com. Buy it today. Jadeveon Clowney is a Carolina Panther.
I saw that yesterday, yeah. He kept getting sacks late in that game.
Shocking, right?
Yeah.
I had to look up Clowney on the Panthers to make sure it was Jadeveon.
Yeah.
It was. When the announcer said, quote, "This is Bryce Young's 3rd career win," I was shocked. Seemed like too many.
I'm happy that Bryce
I'm not
Young
trying to be mean to the kid.
doesn't have to lose.
I disagree with that.
What do you mean?
You're trying to be mean to the kid.
3 seemed like a lot at the time.
Didn't you want the Jets to trade for him?
I did. And I still do.
Oh, Anthony Richardson, if you believe reports, might be done in Indy.
Why didn't the Colts use him in like short yardage situations last night? They should have. Terrible coaching. Should be fired.
Who should be?
Whoever their coach is.
Okay, good.
Okay, good work. Never has the microphone radio / podcast person calling for a firing had less weight behind it than Stugotz trying to have someone fired with no information, not even the coach's name.
There's plenty of weight behind it, though.
You've devalued the fire the coach. You've devalued it by uttering it with
it's my goal.
Yeah, it's you. Well, you have. You've succeeded. You have met your life goals of making the coaching firing, as spoken by a media member, less relevant than it's ever been.
Thank you. The Eagles are 6-2, while having only scored 7 points in the first quarter of the entire season.
That's funny.
That's crazy.
They scored their first touchdown yesterday, first points of any kind in the first quarter yesterday.
Football. Weird sport.
It is. It's good analysis.
Thank you.
It's good analysis from God Bless Football. Stugotz says, weird sport, and Billy's, I trust nothing. I trust nobody.
I'm still, like, in the back of my head, Mondays are tough. I'm still trying to figure out if I said Indiana's playing the Big 10 or Big 12 championship, because I don't remember what I said, but I'm like, did I get it wrong?
Probably.
Yeah. Green Bay Packers, do it with Jordan Love. Rams should have known special teams were going to be a factor. Always is when you play a team coached by Pete Carroll.
He's not.
I was worried that Nick Sirianni was going to get fired after that win.
I would have fired him during the field goal attempt.
In the history of the NFL, no one, and I mean no one, loves special teams more than Pete Carroll. Name someone.
Mike Westhoff.
No. Ooh. Wow.
He does.
There's a second guy out there.
He lived for special teams.
Wow.
He did.
Steve Tasker? Anyway. Stevensville ISD naming their new football stadium after Art Briles. Hell are you thinking? Hell are you doing? Speaking of hell, Art Briles. Dan, those are the weekend observations.
When you're hiring for your small business, you want to find quality professionals that are right for the role. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help find the right professionals for your team, faster and for free. As Metalwork Media continues to grow as a content studio, we strive to hire only the best and most qualified candidates. Thankfully, with LinkedIn, they have made it easy for us to find them. LinkedIn isn't just a job board. LinkedIn helps you hire professionals you can't find anywhere else. Even those who aren't actively searching for a new job might be open to the perfect role. In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't visit other leading job sites. So, if you're not looking on LinkedIn, you're looking in the wrong place. On LinkedIn, 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. Hire professionals like a professional on LinkedIn. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/prep. That's linkedin.com/prep to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply.
Folks, the NBA is finally back. A new season means new ways to get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Who's draining threes from beyond the arc? Who's crashing the boards? Who's grabbing rebounds? Get behind your favorite players and the prop bets you can make on DraftKings, the home of NBA player props. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Every point counts with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code DAN. That's code DAN for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. My mouth is salivating at that deal. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/bball.
Don Batard.
I read his lips, and it sounded like he was saying, what? You want to fight me now?
But I'm telling you, if you look, we can play a game right now. The lips look the same on fight you and failure. Watch my lips. I'm going to turn off my mic.
No,
you guys look in here. I'm going to send one of these two, and I want you guys to tell me if I'm saying fight you or failure.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Stugotz.
Why are your ideas always so bad for the podcast?
Big
swings,
Is this a character that you have now?
Theater of the mind,
That's what the audio.
All right, here we go. Do it again.
Fight you.
That was fight.
All right, maybe you can tell.
Oh my God!
We got to the bottom of it.
This is the Don Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Let's talk for a second about that Ohio State-Penn State game because, Stugotz, it's not just that Ohio State has beaten Penn State the last 8 times they've played. It's not just that Ohio State has won that game 14 of the last 16 times. It's that Penn State got a pick 6 and was inside the Ohio State 5-yard line twice without getting points. Yep. And if that last goal line stand was not, here's James Franklin it, here's Penn State in it. Mm-hmm. Ohio State then running the ball 11 straight times to extinguish your undefeated season.
Yes.
When you know they're going to run the ball. It's not like in terms of where it is that these teams and these programs talk about toughness, Stugotz. Mm-hmm. I don't know that beating an opponent can feel better than doing it that way in their house at the end, where it's like goal line stand.
Yep.
You can't get a couple of yards on 4 downs. You can't get a couple of yards. And then furthermore, we're going to run the ball 11 straight times to finish this football game. You know we're going to run the ball. We're going to use up all your timeouts, and you're not going to be able to do anything about it. Your crowd is just going to sit there and watch you be Penn State again.
It has to be a great feeling to do something. Everyone knows you're going to do it. The opposing team knows you're going to do it, and yet you still do it. Because that's exactly what happened yesterday. And you're right. No, Dan, that has to feel great.
It's not just that part, though. That part's one part of it. Because, yes, it feels great to no-look pass for Cooper Kupp in the Super Bowl when Cooper Kupp's your only receiver and everyone's trying to defend Cooper Kupp. But in that sport, to do it physically.
Yes.
It's not just that they know what's coming and cannot stop it. It's that on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively, as you're in your home stadium with everyone rooting for Penn State's season to this time be different. No, it's not. Here is Ohio State being more physical than you on both sides of the ball in a way that is a physical manhandling, and then has at the end of the game James Franklin yelling at his own fans to say their names so that he can get mad at them, because he's been great, Stugotz, for Penn State, but he cannot win this game. This is not a
He never wins this game. He never wins this game. You're talking about imposing your will on another team. Yes, it's a bad way for James Franklin to lose this particular game.
What I'm saying, though, is where it is that this dominance resides on the people who have run college football over the last 5 years. Alabama, Georgia, Clemson, Ohio State. Like Michigan will sneak in there. Yep. But in terms of what's been the top of the sport for the last 5 to 8 years, it can't ever be Penn State, because they can't get past this team. They don't have an ability, not at home, not on the road, not with James Franklin as their coach, not with a running quarterback, not with the handing the ball off. This is supposed to be the most physical Penn State team. Oh, look what happens at the end. Not quite physical enough.
It can't be Penn State because they can't get past Ohio State, and it can't be Ohio State because they can't get past Michigan. I mean, it's crazy, man.
Michigan snuck in there also not being able to beat Ohio State.
Yes.
Michigan snuck in and won a championship, but the best team for a while. Man, Ryan Day's done an awful lot of winning and still feels pressure cooker heat because hasn't won the championship from the Alabamas and the Georgias in a way that will solidify him forever. I hear him talk after games. It feels more like relief than it is joy.
But I think that's what it is at Ohio State for Ryan Day. He's 63-9 as a head coach, Dan, and people still want him to be fired. He's 63-9. He makes the playoff all the time, and yet after every game, what you're hearing is exactly that. You're right, because I sense it too. It's relief. It's not, hey, happy we won. It's relief we didn't lose.
But when he is saying after that game, that's as good a locker room as I've ever felt after a game. The reason for that is how it ended. You went into that place and physicaled a team that thought that they were on your level, and they're not.
Right.
And the difference in that game, you got to pick six, Stugotz. Your defense played good enough to win that football game, but at the end, on the road, when you've got your home fans hoping, this is the year it's going to be different. They just run the ball 11 times and squeeze everything out of your undefeated season. Lucy was there. Lucy was ready to celebrate with Penn State fans. Lucy failed to deliver a home victory.
We got up at 6, drank 1 beer, 2 beers, 3 beers, 4 beers, a shooter, some liquor, some champagne, mimosas. Can I get a hell yeah? Hell yeah! We are Penn State! Thank you. You're welcome.
Hey Dan, it's me, Lucy. Hey everybody. We're here at Penn State, Ohio State, a top 5 matchup. I'm so excited. Look at this stadium. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's quite cold, and we got here really early to do a good job. None of the tailgates have started. So everything's going really good. This man has no shirt on. It's like 45 degrees out. And
I'm sweating. I promise you I'm sweating.
How would you guys describe Ohio State fans?
Ugly, rude, smelly. Go back to Ohio. Why are you here? Yeah.
Bandwagons. I hate them. They don't have the spirit. They don't have the heart or the drive. They don't have anything that us Penn State fans have.
I lived in the state of Ohio this summer. It is a trash state.
So outside of Ohio State, what is the worst fan base that you have dealt with?
Celtics.
Okay, that wasn't the sport we were looking for, but I like the answer.
You want football?
Michigan.
It's cool up north.
Michigan, yeah.
How do you rationalize being like, oh yeah, we are proud of a national title that we cheated for? Like, come on, have some class. You know, Ohio State, Michigan, no good.
And the Celtics.
I don't like the Celtics either.
I want to say to Will Howard,
You can eat a whole bag of Will Howard. Come on. Yeah, you, Will Howard. Let's go. The best student section in the country.
Who said that, though? There's no attribution to the quote. So Penn State fans are actually boycotting Big Noon kickoff today. There's college game day here and Big Noon. We walked by Big Noon with an hour until the show started. There were 2 rows of people. It was empty. They were literally having people being like, you could win $5,000 if you go to Big Noon. Please, begging people to come into the show because the fans are so mad this top 5 matchup is happening at noon. So they're fighting the power, and I honestly love it. Good for you, college football fans. You're in charge. How do you guys feel about this game always being at noon?
It's trash.
Fox can go itself.
Noon kickoff, biggest joke ever.
It just takes a lot of the energy out of the game. We're still going to show up. It's going to be raucous. Big games belong at night.
Okay, this should be the White House, really. When was the last time we were playing Ohio State with this many stakes? Come on, let's get a night game here.
Yeah, night game. This is very uncomfortable. I can't believe they make punters wear this. Have you guys ever heard of the Dan Batard Show?
No, but I'm very happy to be here.
Yes. What if I told you that's not the show we're on?
What is this show?
I lied. It is the show that we're on.
Okay.
Dan Lemitard, I love you, dude. Keep sending Lucy to all the big games, getting the primetime interviews. That's what it's all about. Go Penn State! We are Penn State. Thank you. You're welcome.
If Ohio State loses this game today, are we putting Ryan Day on the hot seat?
Yeah, Ryan Day's already on hot seat. You can't lose 3 to that school up north.
Now, I've been a Big Ten fan for all of my life, and I can tell you that was the most Penn State-Ohio State game of every Penn State-Ohio State game possible. There was never really the question of whether Penn State wins or loses, but rather how would they lose. Not scoring on an offensive touchdown, not good. Getting in the red zone late in the fourth quarter with the chance to tie and having the worst play calling you've ever seen and not scoring at all, not good. Having a chance to go into halftime with the lead and throwing a pick right into the back of the end zone, which everyone thought was a touchdown, not good. Overall, I would say the vibe's not good, but here in Happy Valley, the fans are great. The stadium is awesome, the tailgating was really good, and you deserve better than James Franklin. If Penn State loses today, I hate to bring it up, what does that...
Stop.
I have to ask you a question. What does that say about James Franklin?
No, that's an irrelevant question. I think he's a fun guy. He's a cool personality. I like the bald head. I like his goofy little run that he has.
I'm a big pro James Franklin guy. It's like a 3-point game, and the refs screw us over like always. Then, it's okay. We'll get them next year.
It's been 8 years.
This guy should be on TV. He's great.
Do you know Penn State football?
I do know.
Have you watched us?
I have.
We're amazing.
What time is it? It's game time. This trip to Unhappy Valley was brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, use code Lucy, and get $20 off your first order. Terms apply. Ohio State fans, you might need that for the Big Ten Championship game. Penn State, I bet you could buy some sick wrestling tickets.
The James Franklin Penn State thing has always been curious to me because I feel like he does a good job there. He generally avoids losing the dumb ones. And, yeah, he loses against top 5 teams. But how many of those is he entering as a favorite? I'm genuinely asking. They're right where they should be. I understand why Ohio State fans are always frustrated with Ryan Day. I get that one a little bit more. You can make an argument that's the best job in the country, given resources, given location, talent-rich recruiting base, huge alumni base, great students. But Penn State, you're right where you need to be. You don't have a divine right to being in the CFP conversation. In fact, they changed the rules so your brand can just keep doing what it's been doing, which is be good, not quite good enough. That's kind of Penn State football. And James Franklin, I get being frustrated that James Franklin delivers on that expectation because you don't occasionally luck into where's the big signature win where we all think that the monkey is off our back, but Penn State is just doing fine. That should be fine.
He is 1-10 against Ohio State. He is 1-13 when facing top 5 teams. That's not fun. Penn State has a different standard, Mike. You know this.
No, let me tell you what he is.
It's hard to beat top 5 teams. I get it, but
no, I'll tell you what he is. He's Mike Gundy. He'll get you 9 wins, and he's always going to be the 3rd best in a conference that only has 2 good teams. Only 2 good teams nationally regarded. He'll always bring you 3rd best, and he's got a $56 million buyout, and he's making $8 million a year. He's brought there not just to resuscitate that after the worst sports scandal that we have seen, but he was also supposed to take a leap he can't take because he can't beat any of those top 5 teams.
For a big program, it's hard to recruit at that level against the other elite schools. I think he's doing fine.
Stugotz here for my friends over at Simply Safe. The holiday season is right around the corner. That means you're away more, and burglars know it. That means you need to protect your home. Right now, Simply Safe is giving exclusive early access to its Black Friday sale to Batard Show listeners. Simply Safe is the home security I trust to keep my home and family safe. Simply Safe is a new way to protect your home that stops intruders before they break into your home. Old school systems only take action once someone is already inside your home. That's too late. Simply Safe's Active Guard outdoor protection changes the game by preventing crime before it even happens. If someone's lurking around or acting suspiciously, those agents see them in real time, talk to them directly, set off your spotlight, and even call the police before they've had a chance to break in. Simply Safe is offering my listeners exclusive early access to their Black Friday sale. This week only, you can take 60% off any new system with a select professional monitoring plan. This is their best offer of the year. Head to simplysafe.com/DLB to claim your discount and make sure your home is safe this holiday season. Don't wait. This offer won't last long. Keep your home, your family, and your peace of mind protected with Simply Safe. There's no safe like Simply Safe. Stugotz here. When you're hiring for your small business, you want to find quality professionals that are right for the role. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help find the right professionals for your team faster and for free. As Meadowlark Media continues to grow as a content studio, we strive to hire only the best and most qualified candidates. Thankfully, with LinkedIn, they have made it easy for us to find them. LinkedIn isn't just a job board. LinkedIn helps you hire professionals you can't find anywhere else, even those who aren't actively searching for a new job but might be open to the perfect role. In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't visit other leading job sites. So if you're not looking on LinkedIn, you're looking in the wrong place. On LinkedIn, 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. Hire professionals like a professional on LinkedIn. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/prep. That's linkedin.com/prep to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply.